The courtroom has been the basis for dramatic movies and television, and for good reason. There is a lot of drama that takes place in a court of law where tensions are high and the lives of accused people hang in the balance of justice. This is why it shouldn't be a big surprise that sometimes there are heartwarming moments in the courtroom as testimonies are given, people are questioned, verdicts are read aloud, and sentences are declared.
Ms. Coulson, is there something you'd like to say?
Yes, I deeply apologize for what I did. I was under a lot of stress, and I deeply apologize.
So in this video, we are going to show you the most incredible moments in court. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Anthony Rodriguez, a former school teacher with the Southside Independent School District, was sentenced to 240 months in prison on child pornography charges. According to court documents, a search warrant was executed at the residence of Mark Anthony Rodriguez, 56, of San Antonio. During the search, 3 devices were found that contained approximately 4,700 images and 384 videos of child pornography. At the conclusion of a bench trial on December 12, 2019, U.S. District Judge Fred Barry found Rodriguez guilty of 1 count of distribution of child pornography, 1 count of receipt of child pornography, and 3 counts of possession of child pornography. In addition to the prison sentence, Rodriguez was ordered to pay $70,000 in restitution to 14 separate victims. During his sentencing, Rodriguez acknowledged that his job was to be a protector, not a predator of children, said Executive Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Callahan. He failed.
He don't deserve life. He don't. There's something. I believe there's something wrong. That they shouldn't have gave him this.
The justice system has now held him accountable. We are proud of the work our office and law enforcement partners do to combat this blight on our communities. Tiffany Moss. A Georgia woman was sentenced to die by lethal injection after a jury convicted her for starving her 10-year-old stepdaughter. Tiffany Moss, 36, is set to be put to death between June 7 and 14. That date is unlikely because of automatic case review and appeals.
She was a child. She was a daughter. She was a mommy.
According to the Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office, Moss was found guilty of murder, cruelty to children, and concealing a murder. Authorities found the body of Amanda Moss burned in a galvanized steel trash can in late 2013, according to the District Attorney's Office. An autopsy found that Manny, who weighed only 32 pounds, was starved to death.
She said, I'm on probation, I don't want to go to jail. It don't make any sense. I guess out of love, I was trying to...
The girl's father, Eamon Moss, initially told police that his daughter died after consuming chemicals and attempting to cremate her body. He pleaded guilty in 2015 to his role in the death and is serving a life sentence.
I guess as far as going forward from this point.
Eamon Moss told police that he came home one night and found Amani not breathing and performed CPR on her but did not call for medical assistance. He said Tiffany then advised him to burn his daughter's body, according to the district attorney's office. Uncomfortable with the plan, the girl's father eventually called the police. Tiffany Moss remained calm and emotionless in court as the verdict was read.
But if the court determines that it's not appropriate for an ex parte hearing, the state would insist on being in it.
She represented herself during her trial, but never offered any defense nor cross-examined any witnesses.
It was outrageously or wantonly vile, horrible, or inhuman in that it involved depravity of mind of the defendant. Signed, and
the standby attorneys assigned to Moss indicated that they would appeal the death penalty decision, 11 Alive reported Tuesday. Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Now let's get back to our topic. Michael Madison. The Ohio Supreme Court upheld the death sentence imposed upon Michael Madison, who killed 3 women over 9 months at his East Cleveland apartment. The court's 7 justices...
You cajoled, lured, and deceived Shatisha Shealy, Angela Deskins...
unanimously affirmed Madison's 2016 conviction and 3 separate sentences of death in what is likely the first of several appeals for the 39-year-old who is currently on death row at the Southern Ohio Correctional Institution. Justice R. Patrick DeWine authored the court's 64-page opinion, which vacated Madison's conviction on 2 charges of kidnapping and 2 charges of murder, but rejected Madison's challenges to the fairness of his trial and the constitutionality of the death penalty and upheld the remaining convictions. A jury convicted Madison of strangling 18-year-old Sherelda Terry, 28-year-old Shatisha Shealy, and 38-year-old Angela Deskins between October 2012 and July 2013. Madison met the 3 women in separate incidents and lured them back to his apartment at the corner of Hayden and Shaw Avenues, prosecutors said.
Prosecutors may also take this directly to the grand jury. It's also important to know whether or not you waive or establish a...
Prosecutors said Madison was inspired by East Cleveland serial killer Anthony Sowell to keep his victims' bodies stashed nearby. He placed their bodies in garbage bags. He stored one in his garage, another in bushes outside, and a third in the basement of a vacant home nearby. Madison said during a videotaped police interrogation after his arrest that he severely abused drugs and alcohol at the time to cope with repressed anger toward his mother and the mother of his 2 children. His defense attorneys presented evidence that his mother, Diane Madison, and some of her boyfriends severely abused Madison as a child in an attempt to sway the jury away from a death sentence.
We all know she's never coming back.
Jurors found Madison guilty of aggravated murder in each woman's death and recommended the death penalty. Common Pleas Court Judge Nancy R. McDonald imposed the death sentence on each count during a hearing in which the father of one of the women lunged across the defense table at Madison. Diane Madison was stabbed to death during an attack on her home in June, according to police.
Count 8, Sherelle DeTerry. We, the jury, therefore unanimously find that the sentence of death should be imposed upon the defendant, Michael Madison.
Jalen Plummer, 19, has pleaded not guilty to aggravated murder and other charges in her death. Vin Brett Watkins, the man who shot and killed Ray Cara's pregnant girlfriend, was sentenced to more than 40 years in prison. Ben Brett Watkins, 40, was sentenced to a minimum of 40 years, 5 months for the shooting of Cherika Adams in November 1999, and a maximum of 50 years, 8 months.
He didn't stand up. I stood up for mine. I said I did it. I did it because he made me do it. Okay, he made the other.
Watkins asked Superior Court Judge Shirley Fulton for the minimum sentence of 35 years, 6 months, saying, "I'm on a long road to repairing myself. I don't think I should die in jail." He also apologized to Adams' mother, Sandra. "Mrs. Adams, I'm very sorry for what I did," he said, "and I'll be paying for it in heaven." After the sentencing, Sandra Adams said she forgave Watkins, whom she described as truly remorseful. Former Indianapolis Colt quarterback Art Schlichter was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison for credit card fraud and money laundering. Spencer, Boston. A courtroom in the town of Lebanon, Tennessee, lit up with laughter after a defendant tried to smoke a marijuana cigarette while he was being charged with marijuana possession. 20-year-old Spencer Boston appeared before Judge Haywood Berry at the Wilson County General Sessions building for a simple possession charge, but could now also be penalized for his behavior during this hearing. According to courtroom footage, in the first minute and a half that the judge addressed Boston, nothing was out of the ordinary. Decked out in a camo jacket, a bright tie-dye shirt, and light brown pants, Boston appeared cooperative and nodded in response to the judge when necessary, with both arms folded in front of him. However, the scene quickly began to change when the defendant removed a rolled cigarette from his pocket. Audio of Boston's court appearance is unavailable, but according to local news outlet WSMV, Boston made his case for the legalization of marijuana in front of the judge. The scene in the video turned rowdy as security personnel suddenly realized what was happening. One of the guards grabbed Boston's left arm as the young man was waving his joint about, presumably shouting his arguments for marijuana legalization in the crowded courtroom, which appeared to be in a mixed state of shock and amusement. But before Boston could be ushered out of the court, he turned to the gallery and yelled, "The people deserve better." According to Wilson County Sheriff's Department Lieutenant Scott Moore, some of the folks who witnessed Boston's fiery antics laughed out loud. But Moore is among the few who didn't find the courthouse stunt particularly amusing. "When you go into a courtroom, it demands respect, and it was not given yesterday," Moore said. "This is the first time in law enforcement I've seen something like this." Even some others who saw the humor in Boston's antics took issue with his behavior, even though everyone in this town's laughing because it is funny, and we are very impressed that he got that joint in the courthouse. But I think his parents are really disappointed, said resident Jessica Davis. Another resident named Dwayne argued that he understood Boston's pro-legalization sentiments, but he didn't agree with the smoker's approach. "I think he was trying to prove a point, but it went across the wrong way," Dwayne said. "Maybe if it did it outside the police station, it probably wouldn't have been as bad. Maybe it would have been worse." Whatever the public's opinion of Boston's smoking protest, it's clear that it was probably not the best idea. So that's it. Please like, share, and comment with your thoughts below if you like this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.